in the Roman Empire's frontier, a Yautja scout ship, wounded from an earlier duel, burns through the night sky and crashes into the forest outside the city. The pilot, Kesh, drags himself from the wreckage with a shattered mask and a sparking plasma caster. A Roman patrol finds the smoking wreck and, rather than fleeing, closes in with torches and spears. Kesh fights back, taking down 2 legionaries in seconds. But a hidden net trap and reinforced restraints bring him down. The Romans have never seen anything like him, and Governor Aurelius, an ambitious frontier ruler obsessed with spectacle and conquest, decides Kesh is worth more alive than dead. Aurelius's blacksmiths forge new chains from a rare red-veined ore that by pure accident disrupts Kesh's cloaking device and dampens his tech. Kesh is dragged into a torchlit dungeon beneath the governor's villa, chained upright to a stone pillar, his mask removed to expose his scarred, mandibled face. Aurelius plans a grand spectacle in the arena. The demon will fight condemned gladiators for the entertainment and political glory of Rome. News of the capture reaches Yautja Prime through an ancient distress beacon. By the old code, a hunter taken alive and put on display like an animal is a fate worse than death, and worse, an insult not worth avenging. The clan elders argue that Kesh is broken and should be left to his shame, echoing the exact philosophy Dek rejected in the But one hunter, Carr, refuses. Having heard of Dek's rebellion and the idea that a real alpha does not abandon its own, Carr defies the council and launches alone for Earth. Carr's ship slips cloaked through the atmosphere and lands in the forest outside Rome. What follows is the film's signature stretch of pure predator craft. Carr moves across aqueducts and rooftops under active camouflage, reads the city's warmth through thermal vision, and picks off lone patrols one by one without raising an alarm. He studies a stolen blueprint of the villa, scales its marble walls at night, and eliminates guards in the corridors with brutal efficiency, all while Aurelius, just rooms away, discusses arena logistics, unaware how close death is standing. Carr finally reaches the heavily guarded iron gate above the dungeon. He detonates a small charge in a distant courtyard to draw the guards away, then slips down the whetstone stairwell into the dungeon depths. The exact scene from the original script premise. Moving past caged prisoners who stare in terror at his shimmering silhouette, Carr's thermal vision locks onto Kesh's glowing shape through the wall. He silently drops 2 dungeon guards and finally stands before his chained kin. But Kesh, loyal to the old code, initially refuses rescue. A captured hunter should die with honor, not be freed like a lost pup. Carr growls back a challenge rooted in Dek's new philosophy. A pack does not abandon its own. As alarms erupt and Praetorian guards flood the corridor, Carr tears through the ore-infused shackles with his wrist blade, freeing Kesh just as a dozen soldiers surround them. The 2 Yautja fight back-to-back through the dungeon and up into the palace, cutting through shield walls in brutal, fluid combat. Aurelius unleashes his final gambit. Gladiators armed with crude plasma weapons, reverse-engineered from Kesh's wrecked ship. The chase spills into the open Colosseum-style arena at dawn in front of a terrified crowd. Kesh, chains fully broken, ignites his repaired plasma caster. Carr disarms Aurelius in a single leap, leaving his fate deliberately ambiguous. A final wave of Praetorian guards charges and falls, before Carr's ship descends through the smoke to extract them both. The epilogue returns to Yautja Prime, where word of the rescue spreads and younger hunters murmur in awe at this new idea of loyalty. But in a dark chamber, a heavily armored Elder Yautja watches in silence, vowing to crush this weakness before it spreads further, setting up a civil war within Yautja society for the next chapter, and confirming that the real war of the next trilogy won't be Predator versus human, but Predator versus Predator. But Kesh, loyal to the old code, initially refuses rescue. A captured hunter should die with honor, not be freed like a lost pup. Carr growls back a challenge rooted in Dek's new philosophy. A pack does not abandon its own. As alarms erupt and Praetorian guards flood the corridor, Carr tears through the ore-infused shackles with his wrist blade, freeing Kesh just as a dozen soldiers surround them. The 2 Yautja fight back-to-back through the dungeon and up into the palace, cutting through shield walls in brutal, fluid combat.